No one causes more chaos in the Disney parks than Stitch. That demonic space dog with 4 arms and a bad attitude has been tearing it up in parks for too long, over 20 years. Toilet papering the castle, hot dog burps, heck, he even trashed my set and made me wear this hat. Come on, Stitch. Here's my 10 favorite moments in theme park history where Stitch took over and made a crazy mess. Now, as all of you diehard theme park fans know, Lilo and Stitch was the second ever featured-length animated film to be animated inside a park. MGM Studios had finished Mulan, and their second big old movie was Lilo and Stitch, and MGM Studios wanted you to know about it. To promote the film in this park, they put Stitch everywhere. They started with like little Stitch signs, like little Stitch cutouts. They threw them like on the bushes by the bus or like on top of the sign when you're walking into the park. But it didn't just stop there. They also had a giant inflatable Stitch out front that they used multiple times when they promoted Stitch throughout the years. And if that wasn't enough, they also slapped Stitch on top of the Empire State Building in the fake New York that has long since, been bulldozed to make way for Galaxy's Edge. But back in the day, we had a big old fake New York, and you could find Stitch scaling the buildings of New York City in the theme park. That's just incredible. When the movie finally released on VHS, Stitch came back later that year wearing a big old Santa hat to market get the VHS to Lilo and Stitch. This is incredible, and I love Lilo and Stitch and MGM Studios. What's fun about the marketing for Stitch is that it's disruption based, which is kind of fun. Normally the buttoned up marketers at Disney don't get to have this sort of wacky fun with a character that intentionally tears through Disney's legacy. Remember Innoventions? I love Disneyland's Innoventions. It was the coolest place ever. The future products, what the future shall bring before my very eyes. It was so cool to a young me. I was always impressed by it. And what I love the most about Innoventions is that it's deep in Stitch lore. See, there was a time where in 2002, to promote the Lilo and Stitch film, you could talk to Stitch in a little mini digital phone booth meet and greet situation that came with a character photo at the end. It's very, very cute. It's amazing. It was called Stitch's Picture Phone, and you could have a live FaceTime with the amped up, little space dog. And let me say, the voice actor doing Stitch is doing it really well. This voice actor legit crushes. It's hilarious. It's a ton of fun seeing people's minds get kind of blown with the Disney Quest technology at the time.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm okay.
That's good. Where do you guys come from?
San Diego.
San Diego.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you can see from the photos that the guests would get after they talked to Stitch on the phone for a little bit, it had this cute little Ohana beach hut setup. So I love this. You remember the time back in the day where Disney Parks was oh, put in your email address and we'll email you a photo we took at the park. Ah, yes, 2002, when email was still fresh. Now, this is the first of many interactable digital Stitches that we'll see in Disney parks around the globe. But before we talk on them, we have to talk about a big moment in Stitch history. Easily, one of the most talked about moments in Disney park history is the great toilet papering of the Magic Kingdom Castle in 2004. In preparation for the grand old alien encounter ride that was decommissioned just a year prior and rebuilt into a new family-oriented space terror experience. Stitch's Great Escape. It was amazing. I actually love Stitch's Great Escape. It's really fun. But to promote it, for its opening day, Stitch took over Magic Kingdom. And more importantly, he vandalized aggressively the castle at Magic Kingdom, covering it in toilet paper. It gave us the toilet paper castle. Mwah, mwah, chef's kiss to this. Give me more of this. I know a lot of people poo-poo the toilet paper castle, but you're wrong. You're wrong. The toilet paper castle is a gem. I love it. But I thought that was all that happened. Stitch is king. He's running around the castle toilet papering. But no, apparently also there were signs plastered all over Main Street and the entrance of the park. Wanted Stitch. He was a wanted villain. And I think that's amazing. And I couldn't find any video of it, but there were men in black wandering around the entrance in Main Street looking for Stitch. So that's fun as well. I mean, it's the movie. It's what the movie is. But they're generic men in black, not that cool FBI guy, you know what I mean? I truly would have given anything to have been there on the day of this great toilet papering, to see the disgust on people's faces as they arrived at their beloved park, to see that hooligans had vandalized their favorite icon, but in reality, the hooligans were Disney themselves. Oh no, my favorite thing destroyed my favorite thing. Who should I be mad at? But this was some true Stitch chaos. Like, I mean, this might be peak Stitch chaos, but it gets better. It gets even crazier, but you'll see. Japan outdoes us all. But we'll get there. It's important to note that in conjunction with promoting Stitch's Great Escape, the ride with the toilet paper castle, Disney was really trying to push this attraction. So in 2006, as part of a refurbishment to the World of Disney store in downtown Disney Springs, they added a giant Stitch, a giant spitting Stitch, put upon the top of your World of Disney marquee. Is that what you want? Do you want to continue to sit under a Stitch that spits in your face? No, actually, I'll be honest, I love it. I love spinning things. I love giant, crazy spinning statues. We got a spinning camel at Magic Kingdom. Might as well have a spinning Stitch at downtown Disney. Disney Springs, sorry. I think at the time that they did this, it was downtown Disney, but it has since been renamed into Disney Springs. But, you know, as a kid, I would have loved it to sit there, you know, mouth open underneath Stitch, trying to catch that half gallon of hose water being shot at me from a roof. There's easily has to have been a camcorder or like someone's phone that's been ruined by this thing at least once in its tenure. And it's near 20 years of spitting on tourists. And sometimes they dress them up. They put them in a pirate hat or like Easter bunny ears, and that's cute. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, we gotta talk about Fine Stitch, AKA the Huli Ohana Bash Parade from 2006 in Tokyo Disneyland. This thing is perfection. Stitch takes over Tokyo Disneyland in a significant way. Forget about what they did at MGM Studios. This goes hard. They took out the Mickey flower bed in front of the park and replaced it with Stitch. They covered the park in like Stitch graffiti and footprints and fun art. They put a lei and like a luau skirt on the partner statue in front of the castle. And as a big part of the celebration all year long was this dance parade called the Huli Ohana Bash that is just Stitch. It's a colorful paint explosion of a parade that is Stitch's endless, chaotic, creative energy spilling over and becoming art, I guess. I don't have a ton of info on the parade. I just know that it was part of the year-long Fine Stitch celebration, and Stitch had vandalized the parks, and so you're looking for Stitch, you're trying to find him, and you find him, you catch him. Oh, there he is, he's on the parade, and he's vandalizing more. He's got a squirt gun or something. I don't know. I love Tokyo parades because they have dance breaks, they have show stops, so the show will like stop in front of the castle or stop on like specific plazas and do like a dance interaction with like the crowd. That's not something we do in the American parks, and I really love it. And this is a really solid example of it. There's really, really fun dance breaks in this. So, you know, hey, I love it. Huli Ohana Bash, they should do it again, and I'll come back because the colors, the vibrance, it's like Lisa Frank ate the Stitch character and a parade and then like threw up this like rainbow crazy event. It's very Lisa Frank. Capitalizing on the technology that was crushing it with Turtle Talk with Crush. You see what I did there? You see what I did? That was an excellent pun, an excellent dad joke. Stitch got his own theater experience called Stitch Encounter or Stitch Live, depending on what international park you caught it in. Your theater gets kind of connected to this random spaceship in this very like Tomorrowland vibey, dimly lit, kind of like cool area. And of course the spaceship that it connects to contains Stitch. Stitch is there, he's on the run. He can interact just like Crush does, but he's on the run. You know, he's in a spaceship, he's on the run. So he doesn't have a lot of time for you, but he can get a quick chat out, you know? And he's got some great gags. One of my favorite gags is implying that one of the dads in the audience is a secret hardened space criminal that Stitch spent time in prison with. Stitch is like, hey, I know that guy. I would easily want to be picked as this over like Star Tours Rebel Spy any day. Forget Rebel Spy, I want to be Stitch's prison buddy. And Stitch is such a wacky character to chat with. He's like almost perfect for this. He can kind of get away with anything, you know? It's Stitch. What are you gonna do? It's like talking to Elmo, you know? It's like, whatever you say, Elmo. You know, whatever you say, Stitch, you lunatic. They built this attraction in multiple parks, including Paris, Tokyo, and it even was on a Disney cruise ship for a hot minute. So that's fun. I love hearing Stitch speak in other languages. That's adorable to me. It's wild how like good it is. So somehow this unique theater show never made it to America. We never got a Stitch encounter in the American parks in a traditional sense. Instead, we chose to make it as chaotic as possible. Allow me to introduce you to Stitch's Supersonic Celebration. You know that random stage that's just like sitting in the middle of Tomorrowland that they built in 2009 that sometimes gets used for, after-hour ticketed events, like dance parties and after hours? Well, that stage was actually built to extend upon Stitch's theme park lore. This was Stitch's Supersonic Celebration stage, okay? So behold the wonder of American creativity. We took this intimate, beautiful Stitch encounter. It's in this vibey, dark room. Everything's beautiful. You got that space hum. You really feel like you're in space. And then we get rid of all of that and we stick it in the blazing Florida sun on a Jumbotron. America! 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 All it needed was bald eagles flying behind it. It would have just been perfect. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I love the show, but it's like, did we need to take Stitch Encounter and turn it into a shadeless dance party? I don't know. It's not bad. The Stitch Encounter gimmick gets retooled into some really fun ways. I love that, like, we get to pick a robot and then that robot comes out and dances. That's fun. I like that. I think that's kind of clever. I've watched multiple versions of the show and the robots are always in the same outfit. So I'm starting to think that we weren't actually picking the robot. Hey, I still think it's a fun audience interaction. I still think it's fun. And the gimmick of dad being a hardened space criminal gets reused on children. And so now Stitch is like, hey, I saw that baby in prison. And that is way funnier to me. That's babies in prison doesn't make me laugh. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And the finale of the whole show is Elvis Stitch. See, weren't you also excited for that? Weren't you also like, man, but hey, what a costume. I love it. Visually, the collection of weirdos on the stage with Elvis bizarrely gives me like the vibes of a Power Ranger episode. I don't know. I feel like something bad's about to happen, but I feel like I've just been conditioned to see when this many colorful people are together with like a giant costume character, people are about to start fighting. I don't know. But it fizzled out. No one likes it. No one liked it. It was honestly too chaotic. No shade, built in a large courtyard. The screen was impossible to see during the daylight. So eventually the show fizzled out in less than a year, leaving behind a seasonal tombstone of what once was, that we can all, see local Orlando DJs when we are visiting on vacation during an after-hour event. I just want to say, for the record, we could easily bring Stitch Encounter, Stitch Live to Magic Kingdom in the old Stitch's Great Escape building. Heck, use the Stitch animatronics. Like, my gosh, could you imagine animatronic Stitch talking with you? We have that empty space. Let's use it. Let's put a Stitch Encounter would make bank. You could do live action Stitch Encounter. Yellow shoes. Live action Stitch Great Escape. Live action Stitch Encounter. Also live action Stitch costume. Get on it, please. Thanks. Yellow shoes, don't you understand? I want Stitch to yell at me and imply that my children are criminals. I want Stitch to be sassy to me. Okay, this I like. Do you guys know that Stitch took over the Japanese Enchanted Tiki room? Well, he did. There's like a rich history here I had no idea about. The Japanese version of the Enchanted Tiki room was originally just a direct Japanese dub from the Magic Kingdom version. Tokyo Disneyland is just a clone of Magic Kingdom by and large. At least originally it was. It has since expanded and changed. So the audience in Japanese Disneyland did not really connect with Enchanted Tiki Room in the same way that American audiences did. But by the late 90s, the whole vibe had fizzled out. And I think it's because Japan has a different sort of reverence to Polynesia. For a hot minute, for about 10 years in Japan, they retooled the show into a Vegas nightclub featuring a ladybird host. And that's cool. And all of this history almost warrants a video on its own. But once the heat kind of simmered on the Vegas Tiki Room version, they pivoted again, and this time injected Stitch into a new version of the Enchanted Tiki room, and I am sold. If you guys haven't watched a POV of this online, go check it out ASAP. It's just Stitch chaos is all I can say. You know, he tears into the building, he crashes his spaceship out front, there's like blue Stitch paw prints everywhere and a big hole in the side of the wall, and then he gets inside and he vandalizes the space, writing glowing messages on the walls, and then eventually he pops up with a ukulele and everyone's like, whoa, hey, welcome to the party, buddy. How and why this hasn't made its way to the American theme parks is beyond me. I do like the idea of them putting this in the Magic Kingdom, but telling no one. And then everyone for a solid 3 or 4 years just gets jump scared by Stitch in the middle of the show. That would be honestly genius. Well, I think that this is cutting the blood flow off to my head. Hong Kong Disneyland loves Stitch. They just love Stitch. They truly do, it has to be said. And they celebrate this guy like crazy. He pops up a lot in the parks. In 2009, and I think it ran to like 2011, there was a big old Stitch's Summer Dance Bash, which was amazing. They have a commercial for the event, which is so stinking cute. I love it. Stitch got the entire city of Hong Kong to go to a rave with him. How more iconic do you want this character to be? But the funniest thing about this whole parade to me is that the parade is full of like a lot of like these like little mini vertical single character floats that allow a single character to ride on. That it's themed, you know, Goofy's like on a stack of inner tubes and whatnot. But Stitch, hilariously, it's his dance party. It's his summer dance bash. The commercial is all about how you can hang out and dance with Elvis Stitch on vacation, having a good time. And yet he never gets off his parade float. It's a summer dance around Stitch bash, but cool commercial. If it wasn't for the commercial, I wouldn't have included this. And finally, how could I talk about the chaos of Stitch in theme parks without including all of his weirdo cousin experiments? There's a lot of them. And at a fun event in 2011 at Disneyland Paris, that was like kind of like a Hawaiian like Disney special offering event, private event, they debuted all of the, well, not all, but a good chunk of them. Sparky, the antenna like lightning dog, Sample, the dog with speaker ears, Felix, the elephant dog, who looks like he escaped from the set of Captain EO, Reuben, presumably the one who eats Reubens, I'm not exactly sure, Experiment 627, the untrainable space dog that I think eventually is killed off. Like, he doesn't have a happy ending in the series, if I understand correctly. And then there's Stitch's girlfriend, Angel. It's Stitch's girlfriend, right? Like, that's canon, right? I'm pretty sure. And this is the only time Disney brings these guys out often for special limited events, after hours, DVC, you know, like these characters will come out. So they've reappeared since, and I'm sure that they will appear in the future. And I love these guys. Let me know which experiments from the Stitch series do you wish was a costume character that Disney did not make? I'd love to know. I'd love to hear on it. I'd love for you to tell. So there were 10 of my favorite chaos Stitch moments in the Disney parks. Stitch is busy. You know, he only came out in 2002. He's been around for a little over 20 years, and I mean, he is like exacts some crazy chaos. And I didn't even really touch on like his appearances in parades, you know, his minor appearances in shows and at events. I've really just focused on when Stitch like made an impact at the park, when Stitch had like a big old landing or a big old event, and some really fascinating history. I honestly had no idea that Stitch like took over MGM Studios when they first like made the movie, and like they put him on the Empire State Building and put like little Stitch signs all through the park. That was so cool to learn. And then I learned more and more and more. This was a really fun deep dive. If there are other characters that have a whole group of like special moments in the park that you want me to take a look at, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to head on over to Patreon to support me and all of my theme park adventures over at the Huli social medias, as well as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the places. Come find me. And my podcast, Fun, where I'm always talking. If you want to hear me talk more, there's plenty of it over there, I guarantee. Thanks for watching, and you rock. Aloha. This thing is surprisingly heavy, but it has a lot of fun bounce to it. I cannot see out of this thing to save my life, bro.